what a beautiful city. Oh, what a beautiful city. Oh, what a beautiful city. 12 gates into the city. Hallelujah. 3 gates in the east, 3 gates in the west, 3 gates in the north, 3 gates in the south. Make it 12 gates into the city.
Oh, good. I'm glad to be again with you. And again, we are being blessed to share our lives together. Okay, it might be in a different form. I'm in a little box and you're looking at me, but nevertheless, we are sharing this life together. And I'm so glad, and I feel extremely blessed and honored for you just to consider to watch this show while I'm on it. And along with those persons that are with me, share the same feelings, I'm sure. We're going to ask them. The first person next to my right here is?
Jasmine Williams.
Okay, and the next person is?
I'm Chief John Kinsey of the Migration Consulate.
All right. And now we're all going to be talking today about something really interesting and good. Now, here. There were some hints about, what do you call it? Equal, or unequal, or piety, or these words. Not piousness, but piety. That piety, is that equal? Does that mean the same as equal?
Parity?
Parity.
Is
okay,
equal.
that's the word I'm trying to get. Parity. Okay. It seems to me that because of the dual system, I guess we have the dual laws and the dual social program, the whole conglomerate or the whole system should be dual. Is that right? Do you agree with that?
I don't quite understand.
Duality. We're talking about dual system here.
But what are the duals here in this particular system?
Well,
that's
we
one
got
and the other.
Democrat and Republican. That's one duality.
Okay.
We have what? Civil and
criminal.
And no, we have civil laws and federal laws. That's another dual. The whole system.
Oh, okay. Balance, the system of balance, checks and balances.
Now, with that, do you think that that the civil rights and the equal rights are two systems? Help me out if I'm trying to get something.
At least as you went to the rights thing, I understand human rights and civil rights.
Might be.
And I understand those as kind of different.
Okay.
But in the same.
But there's two.
It seems like one is another level of rights.
Okay.
For all the humans everywhere. Civil rights seem to just apply, say, for instance, the people in Mexico would have civil rights of Mexico. They wouldn't have no civil rights over here in the United States or in Canada. But they would have human rights here and there. That seemed to be a difference. The rights you have in Compton are not the same rights you have in Los Angeles as civil rights. But if the federal government here, you would have,
Okay, what do you think of that? If we get off into these dual systems, then we're going to talk about the programs, we're going to talk about people, then we're going to talk about children, okay? The whole thing is to try to get our people, our community, to start thinking about taking back their system, their livelihood, their social behavior, and by all means change their philosophical views about the political structure and what's going on. I think that's what we're about trying to get to. Is that right? Is that, maybe we want to talk about that and see if we can do something. Now here, we have our educational system, should be one. But how's it working? How do you think that's working?
Well, that's dual, isn't it? That's private and public.
Thank you. Okay.
And, of course, private and public.
Okay.
Because you can get the religious and the private.
Okay. Okay. So, if there is, should there be any dual differences in the public school?
Well, they have had, there's a record of separate but equal. I think, as you mentioned, Thurgood Marshall and them went to bat and tried to knock that out the box. But in law, it is not supposed to be, but in fact it is, because if all people who live in Minnesota will say, you know what I'm saying, all white people, and they've got money, then their school is generally going to be better here in this environment also, where people who have the money that school is going to be supported better by the parents. It's going to be more stuff that is necessary to be able to educate the children is going to be put into that. And obviously the children are generally going to develop to higher standards. Don't mean they got better capacities, but they get better tools to work out, to work out whatever their capacities are.
What you're saying is the mind of the children is no greater than...
Oh, no.
Okay.
The minds are minds are minds are minds. You can have a stupid mind in the top of the ladder and a brilliant mind at the bottom.
Okay.
You know, I mean, the interchangeability is just like getting drunk. I guess.
Okay, so then it's okay, what I'm saying, it's okay to better have better equipment or more technology in a, class where there's money other than... Now, what if this is a public school?
That has been done also. That is done also. The people in the public sector who have money in those areas where they have private schools, because again, with the compulsory nature of the schools have to be everywhere some people are.
Okay.
And so when the state has, or the federal government, whoever has that responsibility, they have boards of education and whatnot. But in those particular districts, there are schools that the folks in that area got money.
Okay.
And so they put more computers in the building. Apple is their cousin, so they put Apple in the building, you know.
And that's how that works. If they say public school, United States public school, that's a federal system. And the federal government in that case will allocate a certain amount of dollars to each state for public school. All right, so in that case, public schools all over the United States will have the same quality of equipment, books, and whatnot, and buildings, and like a McDonald's, you get the same quality wherever you go. But if you got public school, as he was saying, in public schools in Minnesota, where the people happen to have a lot of money, in New Hampshire, and where not, the community, the people who send their kids to these public schools happen to have a lot of money, well, they can donate X amount of money to the curriculum, buy this kind of book and that kind of book and this kind of equipment and that kind of equipment. Well, that's coming from the pockets of the people in the community contributing to their children. In the so-called disadvantaged communities that have public schools, where those communities do not have the wherewithal to supplement for the equipment for this X, Y, and Z type of equipment that may be needed to enhance the kids' applications to this new technology and whatnot. And so, as he was the evidence that he submitted with, oh well, Minnesota, and they all white, and they all got practically the same amount of income, and then their children do have the advantage of supplements, tools, and equipment that put them in a more privileged environment for learning. They have access to more equipment and more exposure.
Okay, now what would that do for the double standard of people?
Well, disadvantage was a word you used.
Okay.
When that child, even if he went to that right-on school, comes back to that home, that home is disadvantaged as it relates to his education. We have few of us who are into the engineering and other kinds of relationship to the, what do you call it, the civilization, science, and technology and whatnot. So our kid, when we come home, we've been working like a beaver, even if we got a $30,000 a month job.
Okay.
Or a year, whatever you call it. We, more or less, most of us are just 1 or 2 paychecks away from not having
homelessness.
Okay, now what I'm trying to get at, what can we do to improve the standard or to maybe...
What can we do?
You don't want to know. You don't want to know, because that means we're going to have to curb our appetites, my brother.
That's
That's
what do you mean by that?
We're going to have to do is curb our appetites.
Of what?
Of whatever it is that, number one, is taking our time and our money away from us and our relationship to our kids.
That's a fact.
That's what we don't want to do. We want, let's face it, you hear a lot of people talking, and that's why the kids are talking like they are, is because the people will say, well, man, I'm tired of them kids. They call them monsters. They call them all kind of names.
Crumb snatchers.
And you believe me, those things affect you as you go along. Well, they got a word now. I know we didn't even hear it when we were coming along about the low self-esteem. Now, I know brothers and sisters ain't got no low self-esteem, but they somehow telling them that, and they rising to that occasion of the no low self-esteem. So that's why they tell you, well, we are murderers and we are killers, because they are parroting stuff. Let's face it, they hear that stuff on the TV, number one. Now, they are not unwilling to do it, because let's face it, they don't know nothing about perimeters. We got preachers, I'm sorry to share with you, that the preachers and the mortuaries and the money with the appetite, because the mortuary know how to sell you a great big funeral that you don't need, and then get you a preacher that you don't know, and he'll preach for your child sweet sleep, no judgment. So the fear element is taken out that would say this is a restraint. You don't do that to family and the other people, but now, hey, mama and papa and anybody else go, police and all.
Okay, somehow, maybe I'm not getting on right on asking a leading question or a good question, because what I want to get to is what is there. Let me ask this question: what could be done then, if I don't want to give up nothing or know nothing? What could be done to change back to where there is even safety and less the criminal intent in the mind of the children?
Again, appetite, man. Appetite. We don't want to give up the stuff. For instance, we don't want to give up watching the TV at home. Even if we come home and the child is there and got some stuff, we don't want to give up the TV. Now you let the ball game come on. Mm-hmm. And they'll try to pull the child into the ball game, but they ain't gonna pull themselves away to go teach the child to work with him.
Okay, so then what you should do is give up television?
Give up stuff that somehow...
Unnecessary things.
Yeah,
unnecessary things.
The Bible teaches you all is vanity, doesn't it?
Okay. Now,
and a lot of this stuff that they're selling us on our vanity, aren't they? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we are buying it on that.
Okay. Now, we're going to be taking a break here, and I'm hearing what we have to give up, but now I want to know what we must do.
Well, ain't that a do?
Well, I mean, I want to do something that is more aggressive.
You want something else?
Something that aggressive, that makes progress. I think when changes are instituted, they're not very readily discarded. Although there might be some kind of substitution. You're going to say something like,
here's something we can do supplemental to curbing appetites on some of this cocaine and whatnot, and things that are not necessary for our existence. One thing we can do is start upholding this voucher system. We do need more schools that are indeed separate and equal. That's what we got cheated out of back in when Thurgood Marshall and them were supposedly passing these laws. They didn't want us to have separate but equal. They said, well, rather than give the niggas the things they need, let's bust them and send them to our schools so that they can have the benefit of us. We need the benefit of ourselves. So that's one thing we can do, is start advocating the voucher programs. We got private institutions that could make good use of those voucher programs already in progress at this very moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now we got a break coming here, and we're going to have a little slate, I believe it is. Is that right? And I just want you to see some of the things and the attitudes of the children that we interviewed here at the last Watts Festival. Okay? Kids have started coming in on the ground, and they're just getting ready for the evening. Well, man, I got to find where you guys are so we can talk about it.
Saying you against the world. I go to school right here, walking.
Oh, you
saying you against the world.
I go to Audubon.
Audubon, where you go?
Audubon in the jungle.
Here.
You here too? Oh, you're in the jungle.
Kill all the grass and come up here. Kill all the motherfucking grass.
See them homies right there, they CK killers.
You guys got your own with brothers. That's not the idea, man.
Any crowd come up here, they gonna get shot and killed. Straight like that. That's what we do for a living. Rob and kill.
Would you like to do something different?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we like to work, but the white people don't want us giving no jobs. White people don't want to give us no job. They presidents over black people. That's why we stump Mexicans and white people too. Because they presidents. They don't like black people.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Well, if I could show you come up with a different way, would you take it? Like going to school, learning how to.
They ain't got no problem with me. I ain't got no problem with them. But if they got a problem with me, I got a problem with them.
Okay, well, that's it.
They ain't gonna get away with that. They gonna get murdered. They fucking with me.
I know. Okay, we talk about something.
Black Peace Stone.
You understand that?
I'm from the hood. Black Peace Stone.
That's what that is. Here, come up with that so I can hear you. Right here, right here. We can come up with something different. And that you could go to school and have fun.
See, people don't care these days because the blacks killing they blacks and that ain't right.
Then why you keep talking about doing it then?
Because they don't care. They kill their own people anyway.
Well, that's what you're saying that you have to do.
They don't care about nobody. They care about themselves and their family. Okay. Your own family don't care about you.
Don't you think some part of the black somewhere, some part of the family, culturally?
Yeah, you go to the church. All them people, they love you there.
Okay.
All the black people on the street, they don't give a fuck about you.
But then why don't you stick with the people in church?
I stick with the people in church, even though I'm a gangster. I still go to church.
Okay.
I respect some things.
Okay. Now, how about if we try to find something? Is there some kind of program or school to teach you how to do skills and art?
Yeah, we do it.
We do our schoolwork. We ain't got no problem with the teachers. They here to let us learn and stuff. We can have knowledge in our head.
That's good enough. So now you are not really out to kill little brother. Okay. The key here, I believe, is related to what Brother Solomon said. You know, the whole thing is when you get to fear God. God's overall, and you notice if you could understand a little of that, it was really kind of loud and noisy because of the equipment going on in the background. You could hear the little brother said, the people in the church loves you. Other people don't. So I think what we should do here is put emphasis on our God as God is overall. Now, we have a problem, and we do not have the solution. I can't give it to you at this point, particularly on the air. The people with me can give you ideas about it, but that's something where we might get together and work it out, because those little boys should be geared mentally toward a more objective and a positive way of life. Now, how do we stop that? Or how can we put some kind of a bumper to some of it and give those little kids a break about life? Things have changed. Okay, let me say this. When I grew up, they said you could not be a lawyer, doctor, or an engineer. That's in the past now. You can become that, okay? Although I had a bumper put up against me as to become a lawyer. Believe me, I enrolled in a law school, was going, and because of the dual system, well then now the people want to put three systems here, the socialists, the Democrats, and Republicans. And because I was a kind of patriotic person and worked to install the President of the United States, I enrolled in a school. They asked me if I would deny the fact that I worked for this person, and it was a Republican, it was Nixon, and become a socialist. I said, no, first of all, I'm a Christian. Church is important. Those little boys said that. I'm a Christian. I could never be a socialist. The student staff and the bodies of the school went to the Los Angeles and the State Bar Association to determine if they could dismiss me for not doing that. And the Bar Association sanctioned the school to dismiss me from law school because I wouldn't say I'm a communist and say I should not work for Nixon as a Republican or Democrat. That is a democratic process. That goes on in this country. So now the time is passing, although it's years ago you could not become, but now you can. But they have ways of stopping it. But now we have to put a force together. We're going to have to start a network that we can protect that little boy and the other little boys that you saw there. I believe that God will come and help us if you just give us a call over at the center. And let's do something about our future because it is slowly slipping away. Here, it's maybe a little bit out, but people are not taking jobs away from America for no good reason. In the Middle East, they're appearing the things that they used to do right here in Long Beach. Painting ships, working on boats, no longer here. Aircraft is no longer here, but they're still making airplanes. If the jobs are continuously, and these positions continuously to flow out of this country, and the revenues continuously to swindle, we're going to be in trouble. And the people that are anti-patriot knows this to start the chaos going. It will be a while because survival demands some kind of energy and it becomes physical. They're preparing for war. For those of us who just sit idly by and let them continue to take all the jobs out and say, okay, more jobs are created. Where are they created? They're not created here. Okay? They saying that the economy is down, the large industry all over our country here in America, in California. All of these little swap meet things are going up and people are making money. And the clothes are coming from some other country.
Everywhere else.
Uh-huh. And we expect to buy those and the jobs are leaving. It's going to start something here. And I'm trying to say is that now we got to stop this some kind of way. We got to put some kind of attention in the mind of our political potential elected officials that's coming up. We got to tell them to stop, take a look at what's going on. You can't find a shoe factory in California, I don't think, anymore. Not at least in Los Angeles. But shoes are studied, and you must wear shoes. There are certain, certain places they won't even let you go if you decide not to wear a shoe, right? And I dare say anyone walk around the streets nude, he's got to go somewhere where they call you probably insane or to an institution. Now, there must be some solution to this problem. But if we continuously allow the anti-patriotic people to institute these ideas and have presidents like Brother Clinton, has never been a bona fide citizen. I've been born here, but left the country in order not to support the country, not to be a good patriotic person, become president. These people have no good intention at all. And they say all black people should vote for Clinton. Now what they're doing? Quickly, watch this. The news media is constantly saying Powell is going to become the black president. Why? Why should he become black president? Powell is not saying that. They're saying it. If all of the people, black ones, Negritos, vote for Powell, then you got Clinton in again. He's not a patriotic person. He's never been a patriotic president. Why is he in there? Why is he here? These kinds of things we're going to start looking at. And that's what I'm asking you to do. Get with us. Let's form some kind of a really sensitive group of people and put some kind of thought in the mind of these elected officials. Let them know that the economic to them can be stopped as well. We may have to start recalling some because it's not very profitable and healthy for us to sit idly by and let these people continuously to take all the jobs out here, all of the food, and send it some other place and can't get it. Right now, the U.S. government food is going somewhere else, but it's free. You can't get it. You can't get it. And then they have a group of people that get some money and say, okay, I know the poor. You give me the money, I give. Then you got to buy it or either make a deal with them to get it.
Yeah.
And the food that's supposed to be free, believe me, you don't get it free. And then you got to pay for it. You don't have to give it, they got this organization running around here saying, give it to me, I know, give it to the poor folk, okay?
That's one of the funny things about capitalism. It does invite people who do not have scruples. And those who don't have scruples are not going to abide by the rule. Look at what they're doing at the cemeteries.
Uh-huh.
They ain't watching them, so they're taking them out the back and putting them in, dumping the body in the closet and selling the coffins and sipping the body and check who's buying them. And they ain't saying nothing about the people who's buying them. The universities and stuff are buying them.
Okay.
The parts of people who were dead and so-called buried in the dignity of their process.
Well, my grandparents used to say that kind of thing about funerals, and I'd be dadgum if it ain't true today. Old things never change, things remain the same.
Okay.
Well, that's why I'm saying the unscrupulous. Capitalism may very well be a beautiful idea about exploit your opportunities. But then when the charlatan and the unscrupulous person exploits their opportunity, most of us have to holler.
I think that in both of the systems, wherever they be, either it's anarchy or dictatorial or whatever, has the same kind of problems. In the research, you will find that these things exist. But then one thing is left, and that's God.
I know.
I mean, God is over all. And once you have established something, if you look, we don't have time for this, but I'm just saying, if you take a look at those old patriarchs and the things that they asked for, and the things that was done for them because they were on God's side, when things happen, this is what I'm trying to get at. We got to forget about this other glory, hallelujah, and don't rock the boat stuff. That's true, okay?
I know.
Because these people are killing us because we're not rocking the boat, and believe me, they're not your friends. They're not your friends.
Come out from among them.
Yeah. Now, we got to really make sure that we understand that God is on our side. Now, it seems to me that my time is coming to a close. And again, this is a very interesting, very fast-moving show, but we're located at 1419 West Jefferson Boulevard. Now, we have a telephone number that you could call most any time. If you don't help me, then the few things that we have may slip away. Call and say hi to me. That's all you got to do. Not ask for nothing. Just say hi. Area code 213-735-2603. 735-2606. And I have another number I'll give you on the next show.
God's over all.
God is over all.
God is over all.
What a beautiful city. Oh, what a beautiful city. 12 gates into the city. Hallelujah. 3 gates in the east. 3 gates in the west. 3 gates in the north. 3 gates in the south. Make it 12 gates into the city. Oh, what a beautiful city. Oh, what a beautiful city. What a beautiful city. Oh, what a beautiful city. Oh, what a beautiful city. 12 gates into the city. Hallelujah. 3 gates in the east. 3 gates in the west. 3 gates in the north. 3 gates in the south. Make it 12 gates.
Hi, okay. Are we ready? Good. Did I get the signal to go, or shall I wait? What am I doing? Okay.